Bonjour everybody! You remember this series? Rebuilding my first Minecraft world, where I made this noob city into this, which is much better. Now for season 2 I'll be filling the lands and making the place my noob self wished she could build. But I'll only use the blocks of 1.6 as that was the last version I played in this world. So I can show how much my building skill has improved, rather than how far the game has come. Now the Creative World dog has 20 individual areas, and I'll be grouping them into 6 different regions. The city spans, the in-between, the farm, the desert habitation project, the wild dog wilderness, and the beyond. And we'll be starting here in Spawn City. So like everything on this side of the wall. So I'm going to start by adding some houses as there seems to be a complete lack of them in this city. And I want to add some sort of shop around here as there isn't any others around other than Dave's plants. And I'll put like some restaurant strip around here because that makes sense in a city. And nice waterfront views. Marking the future trees in green and the houses in blue. This area is kind of a weird area. It's kind of small. So I don't think houses will work, but maybe some markets. It feels a bit large for a house, but I'll put a house. Yeah, I think I'll put some big tree out the back here, maybe with a bench. Now, I'll just continue with the iron house design. Keep it consistent, even if it's not that great. Yeah, no, I'm not doing the interior. Sorry. No. That's better. The houses so far. Hidden lighting. Shh. Nah, it's a good design. You can say hi to your neighbour. Path. And I'll also add a tree here. Lovely. I mean, it's not a bad interior, but yeah, that's all it's gonna be. Okay, so I'll actually add a path here to the funland and create this little area into a beach. It's a cute little bay. Nice. Okay, so I was gonna put a tree here, but it's gonna interfere with the wolf, so never mind. Okay, well, I installed a house instead. It's just a little one. Alright, making this a duplex. This place has no windows. Much better. Well, that's done. Oh, and I also made another house over here. So I'm going to try making a tree in a different way. I'll come back to it. I'll also put a small tree here. That'll do. This area, I'll start with a path. And go make a garden for the hotel. Progress. Nice. I also added a little path. And made this little cute area. Okay, so I'm going to make a shopping centre over here. However, I don't really know what I'm actually going to do. Honestly, I don't even know what blocks to use. This size? No. Maybe. I'll come back to it. Okay, I put a fence in front of the vault because it was a little too easy to access before. So this will be the markets, then that'll be the main shops. Nice. I would have put more stuff, but I don't want it to get too laggy. Back to the shop. I think I'll go for some sort of old-timey type vibe. Okay, that path is too small. But I like it to be too wide here. Okay, yeah, no, definitely not that. Ground floor shop size, top floor shop size. I was going to have stairs on the outside because I didn't really design the inside well, but yeah, no. You know, it's actually not too bad in here anyway. And because the shops are annoying me, now to work on the fun land. So I'll be adding some games to all the free spaces. And over here will be a parkour course. Block, 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 block. Sound like a chicken. Currently testing the parkour course. I did this just fine before the camera was on. You know, it's doable. That's fine. That's enough. I also made a lower one, so it's like a kids parkour course. Okay, it's not too bad, but I want to try something. It's okay, but carpets are weird, aren't they, with fences? Yeah, okay, never mind. Alright, it's not looking too bad, but I think the spruce blends in a bit too much of the swamp grass. However, I don't want to use oak because that's on the roller coaster. Alright, I might do that one. You know, I don't think editing Diamond Dog agrees with recording Diamond Dog, but birch is how it stays, currently. So I'll make this one of those little hit the target type stalls. Wait a second! This place doesn't have a ticket kiosk. Alright, that's better. Alright, back to this, which is not working as this ain't even a challenge. Alright, now this is more of a challenge. Yep. Okay, well it just has to look like a challenge. Alright, I changed it up a little bit. Yep. Dude! Alright, that works. View from the back. So I'll make this some form of fishing competition and this will be the boat race. So here's the rough outline. So the boats will just travel around the centre. Alright, there we go. Okay, just imagine there are 5 others racing around me and it's getting really intense. Woo! Fishing spot installed. Yeah, I think I'm going to remove this beach because I can't think of anything else to put here. Solutions. So in this little area, I'll be making some fastest to craft this type game. Okay, so there we have it. 2 nearly identical areas, so 2 people can verse each other in a crafting race. So this is currently how it looks, which kind of reminds me of a Funland that's been around a while. And I think that kind of works. Yep, just gonna quickly fill in this random water hole. I also added some picnic tables here. Back to the shop. Got a little furniture shop and shoved anything I could in here. And this will be a pet shop. And have a couple of vending machines under the stairs. Classic shopping centre look. Yep, a clothing display before armour stands. Yeah, I just remembered that cafes actually exist in shops, which is good because I was running out of shop ideas. Alright, now I often do small bits of progress over various parts of my builds. Does anyone else do this? Or do you guys actually stay and finish one part completely? Adding a path along the dam, which goes over to this little picnic table on the hill near the hotel. Okay, now back to this area because the shop is annoying me and I might actually have an idea. So what if this was like the ultra rich area? Now what makes this interesting is back in 2012, I saw this picture and thought that's so cool. But there's one problem. I had no idea how to properly deal with lava. So you can imagine the disaster when I poured lava and it just went everywhere. Then I freaked out and then I put water all over it and now this is how it remains. Now I'm wondering if I should try that idea again and make this like a raised fort around the tower. Or should the houses be multi-story and have a beach front? Yeah, I'll come back to that. Made a bank. It's alright. This is the rich clothing shop. Trying to make something look nice with 1.6 decorations is not easy. So I'll work on the area around the shop. I'll be adding a few restaurants over here. I don't know if I'll do anything over there though. And I'll also add another farmhouse. Alright, now we got 2 restaurants and a cafe. So we have the Western Ranch restaurant with no interior to help with lag. Over here is Jack's Steakhouse, which has a cool vibe even if it's got no tables. And over here is the Purple Leaf Cafe with a little bit of interior. Then you can come across here and look at the reservoir. Although it still kind of looks a little bit plain. As for the farm, I added a horse stable, another tractor, and a fence just to close it in a little bit. Oh yeah, and I also added a horse rental place. In a futuristic city. Yes. Oh yeah, I also added the extra farmhouse. However, I'm still debating this back area, because another house won't really work. Yeah, I'll come back to it. So I decided to make the fort, as this is actually what my kid self wanted. So I marked out a circle, but this area is very uneven. This is too narrow, and this sticks out too much. I was going to remove it, but nah, I'll expand the fort. Now that's better. I'm also going to use nether brick instead of obsidian, as there's actually stairs, slabs, and fences. However, I am kind of still wondering about the beachfront. You know, that actually does look pretty cool. I think I'll go work on something else for a little while before I make a decision. Yeah, I know, that's the phrase of the episode. And that is why I'm going to be working on the river cabins suburb, which is right next door. So I'll be adding more houses to the space and actually filling it up. Start, finish, and then another. Put down some flowers. This shall be a cafe with a wharf, deck. Yeah, it's a deck, right? Cafe installed. Double cabin. Another cabin. Another cabin with Clacketh the First. Now this. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to go do something else. Yeah, I'm starting to notice a familiar trend with the way I build. So I'll make this island into another mushroom island. I'm still debating whether or not I should extend the river cabins over here. Like, I don't know if it's worth the time, but I'll see which side wins. So now I'm working on run round and adding houses all down the street. Yeah, I think I'll change these to plank houses so it makes sense for the rest of the suburb. Alright, now that makes sense with the rest of the suburb. Nice! So these little spaces are a bit too small for a house, but I'll have to think of something to put here. Maybe a statue. A dead bush? It's a swampland! What? Anyway, so I made the other little mushroom island. Plus I also connected it up with a sort of path. Ooh, is this a cave I haven't explored? More cave? Mushrooms? Okay, back to work. Now for Snowtown. I feel like I should do something with this area, but this is the state of my inspiration at the moment. Alright, so time to add some more log cabins to this area. Nice! Nice! Lovely. Beautiful. And this place is a cool little secret water pool. It really gives like old Minecraft playstyle type vibes. Just a simple little cave with torches. So this is what it looks like so far, like looking like an actual suburb, which is nice, but I don't think I want to overfill it so there's still some snow space. But I add a few skating pools. Yeah, I did add another house, but this will do for now. Okay, this cave sucks, so I'm going to fill it in, and then I think I might make a tree farm or lumber yard on top of it. Got the birch trees here and the oak trees over there. I expanded the tree farm a bit because it was a little bit small and there was this sort of blank space area. Plus I added a path. Alright, I'm a bit sick of the city, so let's go work on lava falls. Alright, so I'm going to start by making another duplex here exactly like the one next to it. Okay, well I made the other house. Now I shall also add a house over here. I'll make it a bit bigger and have a table out the back. Nice! Now I kind of imagine this to be like a caretaker's cottage, which is why it's a bit bigger. And it's also got a backyard. While the rest are just holiday homes. I love my holiday house. Oh yeah, I did do the interior. Actually, it's kind of cute even though it's basic. See, I actually did do some interior. Anyway, so the rest of the spots will be more like public spaces. So this place will be like a little playground. Here will be some holiday markets. And over here will be the wharf with a few small boats. And I'll probably make that like some sort of deep ocean pool. Alright, got the market installed. Playground done. You got the picnic table, the seesaw, the main structure thing, the monkey bars, and you come out here to the pool. Now this, I'll actually make it one of those big pool floaty type areas. And again, a dead bush on a swampland. Seriously, what? Alright, the equipment's cool, but the colours are not working. No. Okay, that's a bit better. Oh yeah, I also installed a beach. And also this bench. Now I actually have to think of lighting. Alright, it actually looks cool. It's just there's still quite a few dark patches. I know I can do hidden bush lighting, but I don't think that'll work everywhere. Mate, if I ever take this water off peaceful mode, no one will survive. As for how the wharf is going, that's fine, that's not. Okay, that's slightly better, but yeah, the blocks are quite limited in 1.6. Alright, so I just made all the rest of the boats the regular ones, which makes sense. It's like small paddle boats. So it's a holiday island. It's something they would have. Oh yeah, I also added a fish and chip shop as there wasn't actually anywhere to get food. You know, I think this island might actually be done. Like, it wasn't anything complex. Lava Falls complete. So, back to Snowtown. So, I added another house, and I'm also putting in small details so the places actually look lived in. Just don't go inside. You know, this hill actually gives a really cool view, so I figure I'll make some form of lodge up here. Progress report on that. I'm actually trying to cover up this grass because, I don't know, the wall just worked out better here, but now I have this odd coloured grass that makes no sense in the taiga. So yeah, I just put a conveniently wide path here. So what, there's like just this random 1-block water source here? You know, whatever. Progress report. Looking lovely. So I'll make the path go along here and then it'll come around here and connect up to here. And this grass patch, I'll make it a horse stable. Yeah, I'll also probably extend the path and have it come to the tree farm. I love how I show you the place for working on a path and then immediately go build a horse stable. Well, I made it. It's done. I can imagine these horses are owned by the rich person over here. Unfortunately, there is still this grass. Well, I installed the rest of the path. However, I think the grass might have won this battle. Anyway, so this is the progress on the lodge. It's looking okay. Yeah, I should do something up here. Ooh, red's a little bit bright. Green maybe? I'll keep it for now. I feel like this place is missing some colour. Alright, that's a bit better. Oh, and I also made a secret log pile out the back to cover the grass. Wait a second, this doesn't look like a tiger. And it's not. Anyway, so I installed a shop over here. And another one over here because there's a certain lack of facilities. Now back to the tree farm. I'll make a wood processing facility here and a spruce farm here. But I'm going to go work on the mine as I am not inspired by any of the pictures on the internet, so I'm kind of stuck. Now I built this here because pictures of old mines had buildings like this, so here's mine. Although the roof is looking a bit trashy. Alright, that's better. It doesn't look like it's been abandoned for the last century. And again, editing Diamond Dog does not agree with recording Diamond Dog. Now I just got to figure out what to fill this place with. As for the spruce farm, I'll just remove the snow and put a fence around it. Alright, there we go. Now it's a little bit plain, but it'll do. So I sort of chose the design-ish. This is going to be frustrating. This is going to be frustrating. So I've decided to build a fort because even though this is cool, the fort has more lore. So I have added a layer of grass, which feels really cool. And I'll be adding some extra houses up here. Cool. I'm still not too sure about doing 2 stories because I feel like it might impact the tower. Anyway, so I am actually going to be building the other island. And here's the bridge to prove it. Cool. Got a few houses in. Honestly, they're just the same as the others. Now I'll be adding a cafe here, but this door is proving to be an issue. Still not liking it. Alright, so I ended up going with this, which is pretty good. Inside view. Just don't bother asking him for food. I also put some swings over here, added some tables and moose statue. And there's also a little path to the barbecue over there. Here's an aerial view. I think it's lovely. Whoops, forgot the flowers. There. Nice. So I put in a statue, something I found on the internet, and a tree. That still needs work. Oy. Okay, so I have decided to make this like a servant's cottage for the mansion. Then there'll also be more brick houses here, but they'll be bigger, so it's like the richer houses. Well, that's done. Alright, got the houses in. And I also connected up the path to the mansion. But I think I'll also put another brick house over here. Alright, and there we go. It's all decorated. I don't think I'll put anything there. But here's the other little house I built. Very nice. Here's a glimpse of what it looks like when the sun goes down. It's really cool, isn't it? Ooh, that fort is nice. Now this looks lovely. But this fence, this is too dark, that does not work, and I don't even know what is going on here. And that feels like just too much stone. I'll have to come back to it. Now back to this. I'll try a darker outline. It's definitely more bold. So that or that. I think go make a mine shaft. Ooh, yes. You know, this is cool. I really should be building. That's it. Alright, back to work. Now I made a central mine hub and I'll actually make some mine shaft tunnels for effect. You know, even though this is just like a basic concept, it's so cool. It takes me back to 2012. Now that is nostalgia. There we have it. The mine shafts are done. You got the iron pile, the mine carts, the coal pile, and a blocked off cave for effect. And woo! Okay, well that's done. I also made this building sort of like a tool shed with a few things that I just made to look like something's there. I don't know what it does, but it does something. I also added some tables up here for the miners. I might still add some more things, but it's looking good. Now, what about bricks? Okay, that does not work. The dark is definitely better. So I have decided to instead make some markets and a little shopping village by the wharf. And honestly, I love the way it turned out. So at least something's working. Still working on the shops, but here's a glimpse. Now on to adding some boats to the harbour. Okay, that one's looking good. I like this one. I've actually got a few pictures of boats saved and I'm trying to combine the designs into something that is compatible with 1.6, but it's actually working. I'm just going to test a second story as it was a cool look in the picture I found. Yeah, I think that'll work. It still needs detail, but I like it. Okay, I got an idea to win against the grass. Just cover it in snow. Then put some bushes in this part. You know, it could use a bush there. And there we go. Oh yeah, I did connect it to the tree farm as well. Victory over the odd coloured grass. Now to light this lodge, this or this. Now the nether brick looks better, but I'll go for this light because that's a bit too bulky for here. Very nice. Oh, that needs some more light. Okay, so other than the light, I decided to test stone slabs, which is fine in the restaurant, but not here. So this is how the lodge turned out. I think it looks nice. It reminds me of something you would actually find in a small town. So this is how the spruce farm looks. I feel like it needs more, needs something up there. And I don't know, maybe I might add another secret house. Another episode. So the area is looking good, but I'll come back to it. I'm still not too sure how many houses I should have. So yeah, I'll leave it for now. well, this episode. Now, I did sort of eventually finish the shops, though it's not very detailed because of the lag. But here it is anyway. So you got the grocery store, the redstone shop, the bookshop, the pet shop, and on the other side, the bakery, a furniture shop, the plant shop, competition for Dave's plants, the art shop, then upstairs, a little lookout, the bank, the rich clothing shop, the not rich clothing shop, Cafe 1, Cafe 2, an attempt at a toy store, a fancy tool shop, and a record shop. Wait, does magenta look better? Maybe? So yeah, that's the shops. It's not super detailed, but it was already getting laggy, so yeah. Anyway, so this area is annoying me, so that's all the building for this episode. Honestly, I was just winging this area, which is why I was jumping around so much. I didn't actually have a vision for this place. Interestingly, this episode is more organized than the original footage. So there. Now time for comment of the episode. Big fan. Love your creativity and the way you say city. Haha. By Mr. Isometric. Merci beaucoup. But really, do I say city weirdly? Really? Huh. Mate, you should hear how I pronounce water. Well, that's the episode. Bye-bye. Bloopers. Top shore flop size. This video brought to you by these memes.